Sports Radio, The Ticket.
Hey, this isn't Jason Aldean, but we're hooking you up for tickets to see Jason Aldean at the Ford Idaho Center Amphitheater. That's September 6th, 2024. Tickets go on sale, though, Friday at 10 a.m. And, of course, keep listening for your chance to win right here on Prater in the ball game. All right, Steelhead fans, holy smokes. They're doing it again. They're 14-2. They've won 7 in a row. We air every single game. We got the Steelheads hockey show coming up tonight at 6 p.m. And in studio, we have one of the best players on the team, Jade Miller, a returner from last year's historic run, and he's in the Ropaint.com studio. Hockey man, Jade Miller. What's up, dude?
Hey, I'm excited to be back in here. I did a little stint with Cam last year in here, so familiar setting, but different show. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys for a bit.
We can't get Steelheads guys to come into the show, so we finally found one that wasn't camera shy and who wants to come and hang out and have a little bit of fun with us. Nicely done.
Yeah, this is great. It's good energy in here. And
oh, hell yeah. Are those your real teeth?
These are my real teeth.
You haven't lost one?
Yeah, no braces either.
Dude,
look how young he is.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed.
Do the other guys kind of razz you in the dressing room if you're a hockey player who's never lost a tooth? Is that like some translation, like a football player who's never taken a big hit?
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of guys on our team that are missing teeth. I played with guys in college that had the same thing, and they'd kind of pop in those flippers when they were going out or something. But it's definitely one of those things. I think you play long enough, your time eventually comes. But got pretty lucky. Took a few high sticks and pucks to the mouth, but had the mouth guard in. So and it caught my upper.
You broke your nose, so it's not like you're all clean and healthy. See that, Prater? That dude's totally broke that nose. Look at that bridge, man. That's cracked a couple times. Hanging out with Jade Miller here. Jade, you guys are off to another terrific start. You were a part of this run last year. You're 14-2. You've won 7 in a row. What are the important factors in starting off a season hot?
Yeah, I think last year was a little different. There weren't many returners, so it was a little bit of unknown how everything was going to start. But this year, I think we have 14 or 15 guys that, came back to kind of form the core for this coming year. Felt like there was unfinished business, and, culture is a big thing in a hockey locker room. And to have those guys come back that went through it, last year playing the full schedule and then going into basically end of June into the finals, you kind of know what you expect going into it now and what the aspirations are for this season. So that helps.
Jade Miller, Steelheads forward. We got 3 games this weekend. Downtown Boise, Idaho Central Arena, the Newfoundland Growlers. Did I get that right? Newfoundland, right? Newfoundland.
Sounds right. You're not talking fast enough, though, for them.
7:10, 7:10, and 7:10 Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. All the hockey shows, all the pregame stuff, all the postgame stuff right here on KTIK. Jade Miller, you were born in North Dakota. You played hockey at Minnesota Duluth. You won 2 national championships, and then you ended up in South Carolina for the ECHL. So where did hockey start for you? I mean, when you grow up in North Dakota and go to college in Minnesota, you've got no choice but to play hockey. I would assume that this has been in the works for you for a long, long time.
Yeah, so it kind of started my oldest brother. So I got five other brothers. So there's 6 boys in our family. Damn. The oldest one started no girls.
No wonder your nose is broken.
Yeah, and mom, poor mom. We should be interviewing mom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's kind of funny that the first grandchild was a boy. The second one was finally a girl, but now we have 2 more boys. So it's pretty crazy.
That's cool, man.
All hockey players?
Hopefully. We were all hockey players, but
did you have a rink in your backyard? Did your dad get the hose and the stuff out?
So we had a river in the backyard. So he put a spotlight out there, and we'd go out there and sit out, play for hours. And it wasn't the best of ice. You'd catch a crack or something and face plant, but it taught you valuable lessons. And no, it was great. So basically how it started was my oldest brother played hockey. No hockey in our family whatsoever. They put him in, my oldest brother Joseph, in hockey, and we just kind of all followed suit. We don't even have a hockey team in town. So mom and dad would drive us to the nearest town to play. And they did that for a number of years until the oldest was able to drive and kind of help out. So a lot of miles put on their tires, a lot of early mornings. And now it's pretty crazy how big of a hockey family we are now.
What's one of the coolest things, maybe the coolest thing you've ever done? And Johnny and I are sports guys since the day we were born, but we'll never experience this. Dude, you won 2 national championships. What's that feel like?
It was pretty crazy because I didn't really expect it. Just with the pedigree of, I lost 3 state championships in high school.
You lost 3?
3 state championships in a row in high school.
Oh, wow.
My first year juniors, we lost in the finals. And then the next year we went into playoffs. We didn't win. My first year of college hockey, we lost in the national championship game to Denver.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think I had 7 runner-ups in 9 years, dating back to 8th grade year throughout high school through juniors. So I remember when we played Notre Dame in the XL Energy Center in St. Paul, we were up 2-1 and it was going in the third period up 2-1. So I'm like, okay, 20 minutes here. We can kind of flip this narrative.
Yeah.
Usually those periods go by so slow. And I remember looking up at the clock and it was like 7 minutes left. And then it was 4 minutes left. And they had like 2 shots on net in the period. It was unbelievable. And we were underdogs in that game. And all of a sudden it's like, there's a minute. And then we had a face off in our end with 4 seconds left or something. And, I think they won it right out of their zone and just kind of pandemonium. I mean, that was a pretty cool moment. I remember kind of skating around after everything was settled and just trying to find like my family and all my brothers and stuff and kind of point to them like, holy cow.
And then I hate to say this, Jade Miller, but then last year, dude, you're a part of like one of the great hockey teams in the history of American professional hockey.
I think we can finally figure out why it happened. We were stunned that it happened. It's your fault. It's your fault.
Miller, you're a bride. You're a groomsman.
Yeah.
Damn it. Are you married?
I'm not.
Oh, yeah, totally. Of course you're not. Jade Miller with us having fun. Steelheads hockey star, and they got 3 games this week, all at Idaho Central Arena. You can all listen to them right here as well. Jade Miller with us of the Idaho Steelheads. What was it about hockey that made you and a lot of the guys that you play with just completely fall in love with this sport? I'm new to hockey. My partner's a big hockey fan, loves the Golden Knights and all that come with it, and has been to more Steelheads games than anybody I know. What is it? Tell our listeners who are like, when are these guys going to get back to talking about football? What's so bitching about hockey?
Honestly, it sounds cliche, but I think the first part of it is the camaraderie when you have a good group of guys. I mean, everyone knows what it's like to have good friends, but when you have 20, 25 really good friends, I mean, it's unbelievable going to the rink every morning. You look forward to going to bed at night because you wake up early and you have your cup of coffee, head down and go see the guys.
Coffee drinker?
Oh, yeah.
All just black coffee?
Yeah, sometimes we'll
why
go a
are
little
hockey
bit of cream,
players? No hockey players put
it's usually
sugar
black
and cream in their
coffee.
coffee, Prater. They all drink black coffee.
Straight mud.
I got one more quick one here with Jade Miller. How often is last year brought up in the dressing room? Because for a guy like me to say, oh, yeah, they're doing it again. Well, yeah, last year they had the greatest year ever, and they got swept in the Kelly Cup finals. Like, do you guys mention that? Is it all about this year? How do you factor that in?
Yeah, I think in sports, especially when you have a year like that, I mean, we felt like the target was on our back all year. I mean, it was basically ours to lose, and unfortunately, that's what happened. But I think we're pretty good at not looking in the rearview mirror, but at the same time, you kind of store it away in a spot where you still do use it as motivation. There's that unfinished business, throughout the room. And like I said, that's why so many guys came back. I mean, we have guys down from the American League, and they were saying last weekend that it still bugs them every day that they didn't get it done here with the group of guys we had in this unbelievable city. The fan base we have is incredible.
It is, huh?
The home games are,
wow.
It's not far off from going to an NHL game. It's really not. The way they take care of everything and how the fans treat it. It's super cool. So I think with that focus, I mean, you focus on the unfinished business, but you go back every now and then and remember what it felt like to lose, those 4 games, and you kind of use that as motivation moving forward and hopefully take one step further this year.
Jade Miller, Idaho Steelheads forward. Don't forget, guys, downtown Boise, 3 games this weekend, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Get your tickets if you can get your tickets, if you know what I mean.
Right.
We talked about you being from North Dakota. We talked about you playing hockey in college in Minnesota. Then you started your pro career in South Carolina. You've been in Boise, Idaho for 2 years. and somehow you've got a 40-year relationship with the Simplot family. Everybody around here knows the Simplot family and what they mean, all the way up to Boise State football and how important that family is to this community. What the heck's your relationship with the Simplot family?
Yeah, so I come from a family of farmers and spent about 40 years of doing business with them.
Farming what?
So we do certified seed potatoes, we do sugar beets, we do edible beans and wheat.
In Dakota.
So, yep, in the Red River Valley, kind of in the just north of Grand Forks, about 20 miles. 25 miles.
Well, there's a lot of farmers out there, but not all of them know the Simplots, right?
Yeah. So your family farm had a business relationship with the Simplot family business.
Yeah, exactly. And they were actually lucky enough to fly out here. I believe it was last August. My dad and two of my older brothers who are on the farm currently to check out the headquarters and kind of meet with them, go out for dinner. So yeah, it was super cool. We've gotten pretty close with their VP from those visits. His kids play hockey and gone out to dinner with him a few times, leave him tickets and
nice.
Just yeah. So it's a cool relationship and kind of weird how all of it shakes out. I mean, I had really no plans even last summer to be here, and it's just kind of funny how small of a world is and kind of everything comes full circle.
Jade Miller, Idaho Steelhead. Before you get in a fight with someone and you're just looking at a dude and you're like, I want to punch that guy in the face. I want to kick his ass. What are those qualities? What does somebody have to do to make you think, you know what, if the time calls for it, I'm going to drop the gloves and I'm going to punch him?
Now, Jade, before you answer that question, be very careful, because the only reason that Johnny asked that question is because he feels that every day as we work together. So he's going to take
You're looking for some pointers.
He's going to take the information you're about to give him, and he would very much like to use that and punch me in the face every single day.
Or at least the guys down in the country station next door to us, man, playing their damn music. No, seriously, does that happen? Is there a guy that torments you by pressing these certain buttons for you, and you say, you know what, I'm going to punch him in the face?
Yeah. So in hockey, I mean, there's definitely a code. You know, if there's a cheap shot, a cheap play, you guy, you know, maybe does something to your goalie. Those are kind of some of the no-nos. But basically, you got to stick up for your teammates, whether you're at a point where the wires cross. I know that's what happens to some guys. You kind of just see red, and it's not like you go into games really looking. No. Especially not me. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that. Yeah, potentially. But once the puck's dropped, I mean, it's pretty crazy how you can have a pretty mild temper, personality, and all of a sudden it just, I guess, the passion of the game, how fast it's going. You know, you play in these series, so something happens on Wednesday. Well, okay, you know, maybe if you didn't play him on Friday, it might smooth over, but then the guy does something different, but it's the same guy, and now stuff's kind of boiling, and then it might reach a point where, like I said, the wires cross. You know, there is that code where
it's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you don't go looking. I mean, there are some guys that is their job. I've talked.
Are there
to
still goons? Are there goons in the ECHL, guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's a heavy goon league.
Yeah,
you can make a living there kicking somebody's ass. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but you're definitely there's some crazy guys out there where you definitely have to have your head on a swivel when you're playing. And again, they go flying full speed at one of your top guys and, you know, clip them with a flying elbow or something. I mean, if you're the next guy standing there and you do nothing about it, there's 20 guys in your locker room that think you're not going to have their back when that happens. So
that's kind of scary, Prater.
It is.
Yeah. So it's it happens in a millisecond, and kind of the gloves come off, and it's definitely harder to, you go into, you know, these fights, and it's hard to get punches in on guys. Guys are good at tying up, and you know, you're trying to throw punches, and at the same time you're trying not to wear any, and then you get one in the face. It's like, yeah, you have a plan till you get punched in the face, and then it's just, yeah, I mean, some go better than others, but definitely had my fair share of being on the wrong end of them. So,
and on a somber note, you know, we talked about your college career at Minnesota Duluth. One of your teammates was Adam Johnson, who spent a little bit of time with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then unfortunately lost his life on the ice in England in a skating accident. Maybe not an accident. The opposing player has been charged with manslaughter, which is kind of weird. But you know Adam Johnson. You knew Adam Johnson.
Oh,
A
man.
death at the professional hockey level. We know the Clint Malarchuk story here very, very well. He was a coach here for the Idaho Steelheads. I tried to write his book and was very close to that story for a long time, and it just didn't work out because of the timing. But the Clint Malarchuk ghost of the Clint Malarchuk days still stands in professional hockey. And unfortunately, Adam Johnson lost his life. The emotions that you felt of losing a friend, a college teammate, who just was playing hockey, and every day you guys go out and play. That's crazy. I mean, the whole neck guard thing and just trying to finish a game and not lose your life, that had to be very emotional for you.
Yeah, it was. I remember when I found out I was in Salt Lake City, actually spending some time with my childhood best friend who is from the small town of Minto, same as me, and he works out in Salt Lake City now. So I was hanging out with him because I was going through my injury at the time, made the trip but wasn't playing. So it was good to see him, and had a college teammate give me a call and just kind of asked me about it. And he goes, did you hear about this situation going on? And
Dude.
And I mean, it just totally shell shock, caught me off guard. And it was kind of a weird one of those. It took a few days to process. You start calling around and talking to other guys, and there were games on that Saturday. So many people didn't know.
Wow.
The first person I actually called had no idea, made a few calls and called me back. He's like, yeah, it's true. And I think, we all went back for the funeral on a Sunday. The funeral is Sunday. The celebration of life was Monday. And I guess to kind of go through it with all of those guys from college, a lot of us guys that knew him best, I guess, to see his family, it just, I guess, helped with a little bit of the closure. Like you talked about it, you grow up loving the game of hockey because it's fun, it's with your friends, and it's so scary that it takes something like that to kind of bring you back down to reality and earth. That is obviously a possibility. We've seen it in the NHL.
Yeah.
That's scary to even think. It was a blade to the neck.
Yeah.
And this was a college teammate of yours who died, and the player who accidentally or not killed him is charged for manslaughter. And this is a global story, not just a national story. Just to catch people up who just joined us, Jade Miller, Idaho Steelheads in studio.
Do you wear neck guards? Have you thought about wearing neck guards, or is it just, I hate to be flippant about it, but is it just not too cool for hockey guys?
Yeah.
You know what? So being that there were games going on and I kind of knew about it first, I walked, into the equipment room. We were in Utah at the time, Salt Lake City, and I went to our equipment manager. I said, hey, listen, we got to order these, whether guys want to wear them or not, because in 12 hours, you're not going to be able to order them. And we got 4 different types, long sleeves, ones that are built in, ones that are separate from your undergear that you can put on. And so we had to kind of hand them out and see what guys wanted for sizes, because we're not getting them till the 3rd week of February. But
so you got marketing skills too, man.
Yeah.
Is this all through TJ Oshie's company?
No. So I'm
a different company.
So he does have his company. Those are all sold out, all the CCM ones, all these hockey brands. But our equipment manager, the Beast, gave me kind of first dibs on having one. Just
so have you been wearing it in games?
I have been.
You have?
Yep.
You get used to it? Used to it?
Honestly, I am. And it's there's a few ways to look at the choice to wear this. I mean, like you talked about it, people didn't wear them because they were uncool.
You guys didn't want to wear helmets until like the 90s, you hockey players,
exactly.
Including goalies. Goalies like, no, I don't wear a helmet. Like, you hockey guys, man, I can't.
Well, and for hockey players, guys use equipment they've used since they were 14 years old. I mean, it's such a feel thing.
Okay.
You put new equipment on, it's like you're not even like you can't do anything with it. So I'm wearing that now. But it goes much more like, I mean, I want to be safe. I do not want my girlfriend, my parents, my brothers, any of my family to get the phone call that Adam's family got. I do it out of respect for Adam now as well.
That's tough, man.
There's a lot of ways to look at it. And you also do it for maybe other kids that do want to wear them, but they're younger and maybe it's not, like you said, the coolest looking
Yeah.
thing. So there's different ways. I got my kind of own reasons why I chose to wear them. A lot of guys aren't wearing them,
Yeah,
and that's
and that's on them, I guess.
totally
Yeah.
fine. I think it's a feel thing. We're kind of creatures of what feels best, what we're used to.
Mhm.
It was different right away. As far as, you don't feel, any of that air or wind there on your neck. It's
Interesting. Okay.
warmer. It's definitely warmer on the bench and in warm arenas, but there's, we have to wear wrist guards now, league mandated. We have to wear cut proof socks, so we're not getting cut down there. So fingers crossed that I kind of have, everything prevented. It's getting to that point where I've played hockey this long. I don't need something like that going on. And I actually had a buddy in high school who now plays for the Kraken in Seattle, Will Borgen. He was like 1.5 millimeters away from his carotid artery when we were 15 or 16. He got his neck slit.
Skate
And
to the
so-
neck. Wow.
So you talk about these being 1 in a million, maybe even more. Well, I've had 2 close friends and one, obviously didn't make it. So for me, it hits a little closer to home maybe than other guys that just see it online. And you go back to the personal decision. For me, it's kind of a no-brainer at this point.
Well, we really appreciate you sharing your story, Jade Miller, with us in studio. Idaho Steelheads forward. They're 14-2. Go see them tomorrow, Friday, Saturday against the Newfoundland Growlers. We really appreciate you hanging out with us, Jade. We love our Steelies.
Man, this was a blast. Thanks for having me on. Get to talk, a little bit about where I'm from, my story, and obviously bringing up, Adam and the kind of person he was and what he meant to everybody. And
we'll have you back on.
His legacy stays.
You
going,
and AJ White are now our favorites, right, Prater?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Perfect.
All right, latest on the coaching carousel, including the Boise State search. Don't miss it. We're Prater in the ball game. This is Idaho Sports Talk on KTIK, The Ticket.
This is